How much you bench? That's going to be the question you're going to love to answer after you watch this segment of the video. So we're going to go over the bench press today. Again, there's a lot of different ways to bench press. We're going to show you the best bang for your buck in terms of improving your performance, getting stronger, and also preventing injuries. So we're going to set up on the bench here. We're going to lie down. You want to get the eyes just in line with the bar right here. And then most people can just start off with just using the empty bar, even more inexperienced or kind of, weaker athletes, but you could certainly use a lighter bar. You could certainly start off with dumbbells, and even push-ups are a great place to start. But for today, we're going to kind of go here. So we're going to start with the feet up on the bench. And Mel's going to use the uprights of the bench to kind of wedge her shoulder blades in position. We want to get the shoulder blades down and back. And what that does is it creates length in the pec and gets the shoulders in a better position. So we want to kind of minimize that shoulder rotation because that's usually where people experience shoulder pain. Okay, and then from there, she's going to set her feet. And we're going to set our feet just like we would in a squat position. We already learned the squat stance, so that's already taken care of. The knees are out, weights over the middle of the foot. And she's going to take her grip. How wide should you go? For a normal, regular bench press grip, we want to try to have the wrist and elbow stacked in the bottom position. So whatever grip width makes you allow for that stacked position in the bottom. So that's going to give you the best joint alignment. If I want to do a wide grip bench press and work my pecs a little bit more, you can certainly go a little bit wider and then touch a little bit higher. If I want to do a close grip bench press to work my arms a little bit more, I can go in closer than that. But in general, when you're first learning, find that medium grip where you can get that wrist and elbow stacked, and you're going to be somewhere between 45 and 60 degrees from the body. That's going to be the safest position for your shoulder. Now from here, if you don't have someone you're working out with, you're working out alone, you're going to extend, you're going to do a pullover to get the weight out in position. What you don't want to do is you don't want to press the weight out and lose that shoulder blade position. So let's set up again. So just like in the squat, we're getting tension in the upper back, tension in the hips, and we're going to breathe and brace. As far as the arch and things, you're going to have a natural arch in the back. We're not really concerned with it. Whatever is comfortable, we're getting extension from the hip and the upper back, and we're just going to have a natural arch. Now, there are some lifters that will take advantage of that in a competitive setting. If you're not a competitive lifter, I would not worry about it. But just know that having a slight lower back arch is totally normal and safe because your spine is not loaded. Your shoulder joint is the primary joint that's loaded in the bench press. So don't be concerned. If you see anyone on the internet with a bench arch, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. So we're going to pull the bar out. Wrist, elbow, and shoulder in alignment. She's going to pull the bar in position. I like to think about meeting my body to the bar, pulling the chest up. We don't want to collapse in the bottom. And think about pushing yourself away from the bar versus pushing it up. So wrist and elbow is stacked in the bottom, locking out over. So it's going to be a slight arc. The more you arch, the more straight line it'll be. The less you arch, if you have longer arms, it's going to be a little bit more of an arc back. So you're tucking the elbows in slightly, driving up. You don't want to over tuck, you don't want to over flare. Just kind of keep the wrist and elbow stacked in the bottom the whole time. When you're first learning the bench press, we recommend a longer pause. You want to try to stop the bar in your chest. You don't want to use a lot of momentum, so you don't want to bounce it. Even if you're not a competitive lifter, you're always going to pause your bench press. We're going to eliminate momentum, you can get more muscle activation, and it's a safer way to bench. Excellent. Now, if you are a more competitive lifter and you want to you can rack it, you can also experiment with kind of pulling the toes back a little bit, which is totally fine. So it's personal preference. I would advise if you're not a competitive lifter to keep your feet flat. It's a little bit easier on the low back, it's a little bit more stable, and you already learned the position. So if you see lifters kind of doing that, that is why. When we're doing a close grip bench press, the rule of thumb is that you're going to be a little bit closer, and usually a good place to start is a thumb from the smooth. For most people, regular grip, you can kind of put your pinky somewhere close to the ring, and a wider grip is going to be kind of your finger, your middle or index finger on the ring. So it's going to be close, medium, and wide. It's going to work some different muscles and just kind of give you some variety in your training, okay? So that is the barbell bench press, and now we're going to go over the conventional and sumo deadlift.